Hey everyone, it's Caitlin McKegg. I am back today with a surprise Wednesday video, and I'm doing something today that I'm calling in the news. So I want to share some articles of things that are going on in the Phoenix real estate market for all of you guys. I love doing the Monday market updates, but let's be honest, a lot can change from Monday to Monday. So decided this week I'm going to give a little bit of info in the meantime on a Wednesday and share what's going on. And one of the things that I saw that was pretty interesting that I figured I would share with all of you is the median home price and where that's been headed. So let's start there. I'm going to share this article here that we have from the actually Scottsdale Association of Realtors shared this with me. So Metro Phoenix median home price poised to fall by 25,000 for July of 2022. This is talking about how the market has cooled, rising interest rates, stock market swings, all of those things are playing a role. We all know this has been going on. I've been talking about it every Monday, but this is really quantifying the jump and giving kind of some predictions. So the drop comes after home prices have climbed every month, but one in the past 2 years, and sellers had a big upper hand. The market's cooling rapidly. Phoenix area home sales fell almost 7% in June from May and are down almost 20% compared to June of 2021. The supply of home sales, which had been at a record low earlier this year, jumped 30% in June and is up almost 78% from June of 2021. We've also had an increase in the number of days on market, which you guys all know. It says we're sitting at 30 days in June. They quantify that a little bit differently than the way that I share it with you guys. I'm always sharing the number of days on market before you get a contract. If you're selling your house, they talk more about how many days it's on market before it closes. So that number is always a little bit higher. Median home price was flat in June at 475, but it was based on sales in April and May. So at the beginning of this article, they were talking about some numbers here. The Phoenix area median home price is poised to fall by 25,000 to 450,000 in July. Now, this article came out in August. They're looking back at what the data would be in July, thinking that it would be around 450,000. So when I read this article, I thought, well, let's check the Cromford report and let's find out exactly where that median home price is, because we know that they, of everyone, are going to be the ones to track that. So let's jump into the Cromford report and see where we stand. So I made this big. Hopefully it's big enough for everyone to see because it's kind of small, but it's saying in August, right now we're sitting at 449 for our median home price. So that article was saying for July, we'd be at 450. Right now, August is 449. This is also saying that in July, we were actually at 460. So generally the idea is the same, but that things are falling. But this is showing that it didn't fall quite that much in July, but now here we are in August at 449. So definitely a big decrease when we look at May, sitting at 480, and now we're at 449. That's a difference of 31,000 in 3 months. It's a pretty big change. And then you can just see, of course, the pattern here over the last few years. All we've done is climb and had a few areas where it's been somewhat flat, but from there it's just continued to climb. We peaked obviously in May at 480 and now down to 449. So it's anyone's guess on how long this is going to continue to go down. I think since this is always a lagging indicator and we know that things have been slowing down a little bit, we're probably going to continue to see this go down. No guesses as to how far it will go down. Let's look from a quarterly standpoint too, if this will load for me. All right, so 457 in Q3 of 2022, or 457,500. So again, this is showing that peak too. We're just looking quarterly. When we look at Q1, we were at 450, so then we climbed up and now we're dropping back down. Looking at last year, let's look Q3 2021, 409. So measuring these median sales prices on a annual basis is going to give you something different as far as that number is concerned compared to looking at month over month, year over year. So that's something to keep in mind. Obviously, there's a lot more fluctuation when you look at month over month. Versus looking at year over year. Now, if we look at the annual median sales price, this isn't showing a drop at all because today we're at 464 according to this. And then last year, if we look at year over year, we were at 396.5. So depending on how you're looking at the data, you would think that prices haven't fallen. But when we compare to where we started at the beginning of the year or even where we were at 3 months ago, clearly those sales prices have started to go down. So, again, not sure what we're going to see as far as how much longer these will go down and to, what number, but it's certainly being reflected now in the numbers that we've had a decrease in prices. So on that note, there's another article I wanted to share with all of you guys, and just ignore the title of this one that says newcomers to Philadelphia. But this Redfin article is looking at all of these different markets and how much more of a budget out-of-state buyers have as compared to the local buyers. And so Philadelphia topped the list at 40% more for out-of-state buyers compared to locals, but they break down every city. So of course, Phoenix is in here, and we're going to take a look at that. 12.9%. So this is saying that out-of-state buyers coming to Phoenix have a budget that's about 13% larger than the local buyers. And that budget is about $805,000 on average, which seems really high to me. And they're saying that the locals' budget is about $713,000, which also seems really high to me. But these are averages, not medians. And we were just looking at the median sales price. So that's going to be a little bit different. And then they have here that I think they are calling this the median sales price at 485, which it was 485 before, the last month or two, we've seen that go down. So obviously this information from Redfin is a little bit dated, or they're maybe not digging in quite as much as the Cromford report is. But regardless, out-of-state buyers have a 13% higher budget than locals. And I would really be interested to know what that number was if we looked at that last year or even in the spring in the frenzy of everything, because I would venture to guess that number was actually a larger percentage. So thought that was interesting. Shifting gears, let's stop talking about prices for a second. And I want to share another article that I saw as it relates to investment, really. If any of you guys have been following the news, you know that the Taiwan semiconductor plant is being built and should be completed in 2024. There's going to be a lot of employees going to work at this site, and it's up near the I-17 and the 303. This article is actually talking about a company called the Empire Group that's building a build-to-rent community in North Phoenix. And this is going to be called Village at Bronco Trail. It'll have 354 single family build to rent homes. And they just bought a 40-acre parcel in this area. So the whole point of this community is to provide housing for the employees of Taiwan Semiconductor. And I bring this up because I have a lot of clients that want to buy investment properties and start to think about how that location might be a really great area for an investment, because obviously there's going to be demand for people to be living there. I still think that's true, but keep in mind that, there is a big corporation that is doing this already. They're probably going to capture a lot of the folks that are going to be living there. Sounds like it'll be pretty nice. It will have 2 and 3 bedroom units for lease. It's a gated community, a lot of different amenities. They've got landscaped backyards with doggy door access. That's smart. Smart technology home package, open floor plans, spacious living areas. They've got walking paths, a clubhouse, a lounge, kitchen, fitness center, resort style pool, and a hot tub. a dog park, a dog wash station. It sounds like they've kind of thought of everything. So, really smart. I think a lot of people that are going to be relocating here to work at TSMC um, will probably be thinking about, where am I going to live, right? It's a big move to move from somewhere else and not know the Phoenix area at all and try to decide where you want to buy. That can be kind of impossible. So I think a lot of people will probably rent first when they arrive here, and maybe just continue to rent. But this is something that's going to be a good option for them. Now, this isn't going to be done, I think, for a while. So if you were planning on purchasing to offer a rental in that area, you could certainly get ahead of the game there and capture a renter, because they've got some time to build this out. And employees are starting to trickle in over here, even though the plant isn't completed. I believe they do have some employees starting sooner than that completion. So there will be people moving here. So you guys, that's all I have today in the news. I just wanted to capture some of this information. Quick note, it is Wednesday. Also, the CPI numbers came out today. They were lower than what we had last month. So that's encouraging. It was about, I think, 8.3. So that was encouraging, but it's still really high inflation numbers. It's not a major change. And when we look month over month, it really isn't that much of a difference. So I think the Fed will continue to raise the interest rate, but we'll see. Maybe they're not going to be quite as aggressive. So I'll touch on more details for that next Monday, but figured I would jump on here, share some information in the news before it becomes too dated on Monday. And like I said last week, maybe sooner than later, I will go live with one of these. So thanks for watching, you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I will be back on Friday with a home tour video. So make sure you check that out. I'm Caitlin McKegg with the Desert Dreamers team at HomeSmart.